Have you ever asked yourself, why don't I have close friends? Why am I always the one left out, even though I care deeply? If you're quietly carrying that question, you're not alone. Many chosen ones go through life with no close friends and no relationship, not because they're unworthy of love, but because their soul operates on a deeper frequency that few can understand. It's not that you're doing something wrong. You're simply built for something more, something that requires solitude, clarity, and strength. You feel things intensely. You think differently. And as much as you long to connect, most people just don't meet you on that level. Yes, it hurts. The silence, the nights spent wondering if anyone truly sees you. It can feel endless. But this loneliness isn't random. It's preparation. You're being set apart, not left behind. If this resonates with you, stay with us. You're not forgotten. You're being refined for something greater. Why chosen ones struggle with connection. The chosen ones have a special energy that stands out from the crowd like a lighthouse in the night sea. This energy is not only powerful, but also reflects a deep authenticity within them. But this creates an invisible distance from those around them, because not everyone can tune into that unique frequency. For example, when they share an inspiring idea in a conversation, others may just stay silent, not understanding or feeling the vitality in their words. This difference is not a barrier they intentionally build, but a natural consequence of being true to themselves in a world that is used to sameness. This invisible divide isn't something they intentionally craft. Rather, it's an inevitable outcome of living true to themselves in a world often accustomed to conformity. Consequently, they frequently find themselves standing alone, not because they desire it, but because their energy demands a level of connection far deeper than what most can offer. This solitude arises not from a lack of warmth or openness, but from the reality that their frequency operates on a wavelength that requires rare alignment to truly bridge. Loneliness seems an inseparable part of the chosen one's journey, extending beyond the simple absence of companionship into a profound state of spiritual isolation. A deep-seated solitude that can make them feel adrift in a world of their own making. They often sense this difference early on, perhaps as children when they felt out of place amid the games and chatter of peers, long before they could articulate why. It's not that they don't yearn for connection. Deep within, they crave meaningful, soul-stirring relationships where they can share their truest selves without pretense or restraint. Yet their authenticity sets an extraordinarily high standard, turning the search for kindred spirits into a long and challenging odyssey. When faced with an energetic mismatch, they might feel as though they're speaking a language others cannot comprehend, or like travelers passing through foreign lands where no one recognizes the worth of their journey. These moments often spark self-reflection. Is something wrong with me? But the truth is, this loneliness isn't a sign of failure or flaw. It's a testament to their unwavering refusal to settle for superficial bonds. They'd rather walk alone than feign belonging in connections that don't reach their heart. This spiritual isolation becomes a quiet companion, not as a burden, but as a marker of their commitment to honoring their inner truth, even when it means standing apart from the crowd for longer than they might wish. In real-world scenarios, the distinctiveness of chosen ones often shines through in their interactions, though it's not always met with understanding or acceptance. For instance, during a group conversation, they might share a profound thought or emotion, only to be met with blank stares or an awkward silence, a classic sign of energetic mismatch. Others may feel threatened, perplexed, or even distanced by their authenticity, as such raw honesty can unearth truths people aren't ready to face. Picture a chosen one presenting a bold, unconventional idea in a workplace meeting. Instead of applause, they're labeled too different or unapproachable, gradually sidelined from the social fabric of the team. Such experiences are far from rare, and as a result, spiritual isolation weaves itself into their everyday reality. Consider another example. At a social gathering, they might attempt to steer the discussion towards something meaningful, only to find others drifting away, drawn instead to lighter, more familiar topics. This doesn't stem from a lack of value or appeal on their part. Rather, it's evidence of the unique path they tread, a path requiring patience and fierce belief as they await the rare souls who can truly resonate with them. Their isolation isn't a curse, but a reflection of their steadfast commitment to high standards in connection, even if it means walking solo for stretches of time. It underscores not their shortcomings, but the extraordinary depth they bring to a world that doesn't always know how to embrace it. Spiritual awakening. The real reason behind loneliness. The isolation experienced during a spiritual awakening stems from a profound shift in energy that fundamentally alters the inner landscape of those who are chosen. As this transformative process unfolds, individuals don't just undergo a change in perception, they begin to resonate with a new frequency, often described as higher consciousness. This shift isn't a conscious choice to distance themselves from society, but rather a natural outcome of aligning with a greater cosmic force. During a spiritual awakening, their energy vibration often becomes misaligned with that of others around them. For example, mundane conversations about trivial matters, material pursuits, or societal norms that once felt comfortable may now seem superficial or draining. Additionally, ascension symptoms, such as physical fatigue, heightened sensitivity to noise or crowds, or an overwhelming need for solitude, further highlight this energetic disconnect. This can leave them feeling like outsiders, even among familiar faces, as their essence evolves beyond the ordinary. If you're feeling this now, know that you're not alone. When embarking on a spiritual awakening, chosen ones dive into an intense journey of inner transformation, marking the emergence of higher consciousness. This process reshapes not only how they perceive the world, but also how they connect with their own existence on a deeper level. They may find themselves experiencing moments of profound stillness, where an inner voice speaks with newfound clarity, or vivid prophetic dreams that seem to carry hidden messages. Yet this awakening is far from simple or painless. Ascension symptoms like disorientation, emotional turbulence, sensitivity to negative energies, or even unexplained waves of sadness can make them retreat inward. They crave solitude to process these shifts, reflect on their purpose, and heal from old wounds. Someone who once thrived in social circles might now prefer quiet nights alone, immersed in books, journaling, or meditation. Relationships that once defined their lives may fade as they struggle to explain their evolving perspective to those who haven't walked the same path. This need for personal space becomes a sanctuary, though it often deepens their sense of isolation. If you're feeling this now, know that you're not alone. The gap created by differences in experience and understanding during a spiritual awakening often manifests as a tangible divide between chosen ones and the world around them. Picture a person who was once the life of the party. After stepping into higher consciousness, they might begin to shy away from crowded gatherings, overwhelmed by the chaotic energy or struck by ascension symptoms like sudden headaches, a racing heart, or a pervasive sense of not belonging. Take, for instance, an office worker who, after months of inner turmoil and awakening, decides to leave a stable corporate job to pursue a calling in art, writing, or holistic healing. Friends and family, unable to grasp this drastic shift, might criticize or distance themselves, leaving the individual to navigate their journey alone. Another example could be a parent who, amidst their awakening, finds it hard to relate to their children's focus on material success, choosing instead to model a life of mindfulness and purpose. This isolation isn't a choice. but a necessary phase, allowing them to realign with their true self and a higher mission, even at the cost of temporary disconnection from others. If you're feeling this now, know that you're not alone. This period of isolation serves as a crucible for inner transformation, providing the space needed to shed old layers and recalibrate one's life in alignment with the divine purpose. As these chosen ones embrace the solitude, they uncover deeper layers of self-awareness, personal healing, and clarity of vision. Although it may seem like a lonely road, it is a journey towards self-mastery, where they reconnect with their truest essence and prepare to re-enter the world with renewed strength and purpose. Through this process, they find their way back to themselves, ready to share their newfound wisdom and energy with those who are open to receiving it. Their journey is not one of abandonment, but of sacred preparation for the next phase of their mission. A mission that will ultimately benefit not just them, but the collective consciousness as well. If you're feeling this now, know that you're not alone. The chosen one's energy and its relationship impact. Chosen ones possess a unique energy, often described as a high vibration, resonating at a frequency far superior to those around them, creating a powerful and distinct energy field. This energy is not merely a superficial glow, but the result of a deep connection with themselves and the universe, often nurtured through practices like energy healing, such as meditation, chakra balancing, or working with spiritual flows to maintain inner harmony. This potent vibration acts like a beacon in the darkness, drawing others toward them with its authenticity, inner strength, and the sense of peace they exude. However, this very quality often leads to imbalances in their relationships. The energy of chosen ones is so intense that it can overwhelm or overshadow the vibration of others, leaving those around them feeling outmatched, unable to keep up, or incapable of resonating at the same exceptional frequency. This creates an invisible divide, where the disparity in energy levels becomes a barrier rather than a bridge. As a gift, this energy allows them to inspire, uplift others, and spread positivity within their communities. Yet, as a burden, it isolates them when no one can truly match or align with their elevated frequency, resulting in an unintended distancing in personal relationships that they may not even desire. Chosen people often have difficulty finding deep relationships with people who can resonate with their unique energy. While their energy draws others close, few are deep enough or willing to reciprocate in a balanced way, leaving them feeling lonely even when they are not alone. For example, they may meet a new friend who is drawn to their positivity, but quickly realize that the person is not willing to embark on a similar journey of personal growth. To maintain their high frequency, they often spend time healing their energy and easing their emotional wounds, but this can sometimes create more distance between them and those around them. However, this process inadvertently creates a gap between them and those who have not embarked on a similar journey. As a result, chosen ones often find themselves giving more than they receive, offering support, light, understanding, and even healing, yet they rarely experience the same nurturing in return. Many are drawn to their light and tranquility but fail to realize that a true relationship requires a mutual exchange of energy, a balance that is often missing in these encounters. This struggle for reciprocal energy becomes more apparent in their real-life situations. Chosen ones long for deep spiritual relationships where both parties elevate each other's vibrations through authenticity, mutual support, and shared growth. For instance, a chosen one might encounter someone captivated by their positive energy after an energy healing session, where they radiate peace and strength. However, that person may only seek comfort, wanting to bask in the light without being ready to embark on their own spiritual path toward alignment. This creates an imbalance, as the chosen one's energy implicitly sets a standard. For a relationship to truly thrive, the other person must adjust their own vibration and engage in personal growth. If a chosen one rushes into an unbalanced relationship, connecting with someone who is spiritually unready or merely seeking temporary support, they risk emotional depletion and may find themselves drifting away from their own spiritual path. On the other hand, when they practice patience and seek someone truly aligned in energy and life purpose, they foster lasting relationships built on mutual respect and growth. This patience ultimately helps them find the balance, nurturing, and harmony that are essential for their enduring spiritual journey. Thus, the journey of a chosen one requires discernment and patience in finding those who can walk alongside them. Their powerful energy demands that they be selective in their connections, as only those who can resonate at their high frequency and commit to mutual spiritual growth can provide the deep, meaningful connections they seek. It is through these careful, balanced relationships that chosen ones are able to elevate their own vibrations while also uplifting others, forging a path of spiritual fulfillment and shared enlightenment. Sensitivity to crowds. Why you feel drained. Spending time with many friends or navigating crowded settings can become energetically draining for chosen ones due to their heightened sensitivity, a defining characteristic of being an empath. Their unique energy field operates like an open circuit, constantly absorbing the vibrations, emotions, and subtle frequencies of those around them, which can lead to a profound energy drain that affects them on multiple levels, physically, mentally, and even spiritually. This isn't just a mild discomfort. It's a deep-seated exhaustion that can leave them feeling unmoored, as if their vitality has been siphoned away. Picture their sensitivity as an unshielded radar, picking up every emotional blip in their vicinity. Unlike others who might filter out the noise, empaths take it all in, unprocessed. This relentless intake often escalates into psychic overload, particularly in chaotic or densely populated environments where energies collide unpredictably. For example, a short trip on a packed bus might bombard them with the collective anxiety of rushed passengers, the irritation of someone delayed, or the fleeting joy of a child, all merging into a cacophony they can't tune out. Their nervous system, wired to detect these unseen currents, struggles to cope with the influx, especially when negative energies, like frustration, sadness, or hostility, linger and cling to them like damp fog. This explains why even brief exposure to a crowd can leave them reeling, their inner equilibrium disrupted by the sheer weight of what they've absorbed. Over time, this sensitivity becomes both a gift and a burden, requiring them to develop strategies to protect their energy or risk being overwhelmed by the world's unseen chaos. Their heightened sensitivity makes them, often empaths, acutely aware of the emotions and energies around them, making social interactions both profound and exhausting. Not only can they sense a friend's bad mood, they can also sense the emotional charge of a crowd, leaving them feeling drained. For example, when they walk into a crowded restaurant while others are chatting away, they are swept up in the quiet pressure of the staff and the noise of dozens of conversations, like a wave that washes over them, suffocating them. This psychic overload isn't a choice. It's an involuntary response to their heightened perception, leaving them mentally and emotionally taxed. Even in positive settings like a warm gathering of friends, the volume of energy exchanged can feel like static buzzing through their system, overwhelming their capacity to process it all. They might leave such an event with a smile, only to collapse later, their body heavy with a fatigue that defies explanation. For instance, after a night out, they could experience a racing mind or a sudden drop in mood, echoes of the energies they've absorbed. It's a deeply personal struggle. Their ability to connect so profoundly with others comes at the cost of vulnerability to energetic chaos, driving them to seek solitude as a refuge. This retreat isn't about disliking people. It's a necessary act of self-preservation, a way to untangle the web of borrowed emotions and restore their inner peace after the storm of social contact. Chosen ones, with their empathic nature, often feel an innate compulsion to help and heal those around them. But this altruistic instinct can intensify their energy drain, especially in crowded or emotionally charged settings. Consider a vivid scenario. They're at a bustling wedding reception, surrounded by joy, tears, and the occasional family tension. While others dance and mingle, the empath senses a friend's unspoken disappointment, a relative's buried resentment, or the overwhelming happiness of the newlyweds, each emotion pulling at their energy like threads in a tapestry. This selflessness often leads them to offer comfort or support, even unconsciously, but it comes at a steep price, pushing them into psychic overload as they juggle their own feelings with the flood of external input. Take another example: a trip to a packed festival. The sights, sounds, and collective energy, excitement, impatience, exhaustion, crash over them like relentless waves, each interaction eroding their reserves. By the end, they might feel physically unwell, headaches, a tight chest, or a bone-deep weariness, clear signs their system has short-circuited under the strain. This isn't just social fatigue. It's a visceral reaction to absorbing and processing the world's emotional landscape. Their compassionate nature, while a strength, demands vigilance. Without boundaries, they risk depleting themselves entirely. Crowded spaces become a proving ground for this dynamic, where the energetic cost of their empathy manifests in real time. Think of a teacher in a noisy classroom or a healer at a community event, both quietly battling the same overload. It's a stark reminder of why empaths often feel like they're carrying the weight of every soul they encounter, needing deliberate recovery to reclaim their strength. Comment below if crowds exhaust you too. Solitude is a gift, time for healing. Chosen ones often stand out due to their uniqueness and high vibrations, making it difficult for others to form a connection with them. Their energy is not only distinct, but also deeply healing, like a lighthouse illuminating the hidden aspects of the soul, guiding them through the profound layers of consciousness. This difference is a double-edged sword. While it highlights their exceptional qualities and divine purpose, it also isolates them from those who cannot understand or resonate with their elevated frequency, often leaving them feeling like outsiders in a crowd. Being different in a world that typically values conformity can lead to feelings of loneliness. But this is not mere emptiness. It is the beginning of soul healing, a process of inner renewal. Chosen ones tend to think, feel, and act in ways that diverge from societal norms, their perspectives shaped by a deeper understanding of life's spiritual dimensions, a lens through which others rarely see. This unique energy opens the door to shadow work, where they confront the deepest, darkest parts of their soul, the repressed fears and the unhealed wounds, allowing them to heal and grow on their journey. This divergence can lead to feelings of being misunderstood or unappreciated, further intensifying their isolation, sometimes causing them to wonder if they truly belong in this world. However, for chosen ones, loneliness is not merely the absence of company. It is a sacred phase of healing, where they reconnect with their inner child, the innocent and vulnerable part of themselves forgotten amidst life's currents. This is a time to revisit old wounds, the buried pains of the past, and embark on a journey of trauma recovery, gradually restoring the wholeness of their soul. This period of solitude is a vital step, emphasizing the importance of patience, self-healing, and alignment with their true essence, helping them realize that their difference is not a curse, but a destined gift. Rather than viewing loneliness as a burden, chosen ones can see it as a gift, a sacred space, where they listen to their inner voice, embrace the wounded inner child, and slowly release the emotional burdens that have weighed them down over the years. Use this solitude as a sacred space for healing, transforming loneliness into a journey of soul rebirth, where every tear shed becomes a seed of strength and enlightenment. One of the greatest values of solitude is the opportunity for those chosen to connect more deeply with themselves, turning it into a period of true healing. In these quiet moments, they find the peace to face the wounded parts of their souls, the hidden corners that few people touch. For example, they can meditate for hours, listening to their inner voice and gradually unpacking old pain, as if having a silent conversation with a greater power, helping them gain clarity on their path. Free from the distractions of daily social interactions, they can focus on spiritual practices like meditation, prayer, or contemplation, fostering inner peace and clarity while awakening the latent energies within. For instance, a chosen one might spend hours journaling, dialoguing with their inner child, revisiting childhood memories to heal, or meditating to release painful memories, leading to trauma recovery. They might envision themselves walking through a silent forest, each step a release of old pain. Use this solitude as a sacred space for healing, making every moment of stillness a step forward in a holistic healing journey, transforming loneliness into a sacred temple of rebirth and awakening. Realignment with purpose. Through isolation. Isolation allows the chosen ones to align more closely with their true essence, a process known as alignment with their divine purpose. In solitude, they can strip away external influences and societal expectations, discovering their authentic selves and the core values that shape their soul mission. This separation is not merely a physical state, but an energetic space where they can redirect their spiritual flow. Much like a river finding its natural course after being obstructed by the rocks of the outside world. The chosen ones often find that isolation strengthens their connection to a higher power, serving as a direct channel to divine guidance. This is not a random disconnection, but a deliberate phase designed to reinforce alignment with their spiritual path, a journey that demands absolute purity and focus. In the stillness of solitude, the noise of the external world fades. Meaningless conversations, work pressures, or the chaos of social media, leaving room for them to hear the subtle messages from the universe. These messages, sometimes just a vague feeling or a fleeting intuition, are vital compasses guiding them toward their divine purpose. For instance, someone might realize in this quiet that they are destined to create art that heals souls, rather than chasing material ambitions imposed by society. Thus, isolation becomes a forge of energy, where they reshape themselves to fit a higher purpose. Isolation acts as an energetic catalyst, helping the chosen ones maintain alignment with their divine purpose and soul mission. Without it, they risk losing themselves in the chaos of the world, weakening their ability to fulfill their sacred mission, and drifting forever from the path the universe has laid out for them. Solitude offers the chosen ones the chance to focus entirely on their spiritual growth, an essential element in discovering and fulfilling their soul mission. When alone, they can engage in deep self-reflection, confronting old wounds and reshaping themselves in a way that aligns with their divine purpose. For example, someone scarred by betrayal might realize in isolation that their mission is not to live in fear, but to spread trust and heal others, a transformation from victim to leader. Connecting with a higher power in these moments becomes a vital source of energy, providing strength to overcome personal challenges, from the dark days of self-doubt to the moments of facing profound loneliness. They can sense the presence of divine guidance, like a lighthouse illuminating the path ahead, helping them stay steadfast in their alignment. Moreover, isolation allows them to practice personal rituals, such as meditating in silence, praying under the moonlight, or journaling their dreams and visions, to deepen their bond with their greater purpose. These experiences not only heal but also empower, turning pain into strength to serve a larger mission. One might discover, through hours of introspection, that they are called to be a storyteller, using words to ignite hope in lost souls. Isolation, therefore, is not just a refuge but a school for the soul, where they learn to listen and trust the inner call. Isolation is a personalized gift, enabling the chosen ones to heal and strengthen their alignment with their soul mission. Without it, They may never uncover the depths of the divine purpose the universe has set for them, and their journey would remain incomplete amid life's distractions. In reality, the chosen ones often carry emotional and psychological scars from their past, family trauma, failed relationships, or the relentless pressures of society weighing on their shoulders. Isolation becomes a practical space for them to confront and heal these wounds, ensuring they can step into their soul mission with clarity and strength. For instance, someone hurt by childhood abandonment might realize in solitude that their divine purpose is to help other children overcome similar struggles, turning personal pain into meaningful community action. Another example is a spiritual leader like Nelson Mandela, who endured years of isolation in prison, where he not only found alignment with his mission to liberate a nation, but also forged an iron will to make that dream a reality. Similarly, an artist might retreat from the world to create a work reflecting humanity's pain, inspiring millions in the process. Isolation not only aids their healing, but sharpens their focus on the unique responsibilities entrusted to them by the universe, such as writing a transformative book or launching a social movement. Free from distractions like pointless parties or the pressure to succeed by conventional standards, they can devote all their energy to preparing for their role in fulfilling their divine purpose. Whether that's leading, healing, or inspiring future generations. Isolation is an indispensable practical phase, offering the time and space for the chosen ones to heal and prepare for their soul mission. Without it, they might remain trapped in the past, unable to fulfill the divine purpose they were born to achieve, and the world would lose the light they were destined to bring. If you've stayed with me all the way to this point, I want to offer you a heartfelt thank you. Your presence is something I never take for granted. Should anything I've shared today resonate with you or leave you curious for more, I'd be thrilled if you'd hit that subscribe button so we can keep uncovering new stories together. Every bit of support from you is like a breeze propelling me further along this path, and I'm grateful for it. I'd also love to know what's on your mind, your own life moments or personal reflections, so please don't hesitate to share them in the comments. Perhaps a single line from you could reach someone out there, lighting a spark of hope they've been searching for.